You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. Today is episode 373, From Self-Negotiation to Action, a Powerful Accountability System. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Have you noticed how quickly good business intentions fade when it's time to actually do the work? The voice in your head that's so good at justifying later is costing your business growth. In today's episode, I'm revealing a number of effective strategies you can combine to create a powerful accountability system that turns intentions into action. If you're ready to stop the cycle of promising and postponing, these practical strategies will transform how you follow through on what matters most. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to invite you to take my Next Level Business Owner quiz. If you have not already done so, take 3 short, quick minutes to take this quiz and find out what's most holding you back in your business. And then you'll get a curated playlist from the podcast that have episodes that address those specific pain points so that you are getting actionable strategies that you can implement immediately and have the biggest ROI impact on your business. To do so, simply head on over to amberdelagarza.com/quiz. And now, let's get to the straight talk. Do you find yourself making the same commitments over and over again, only to break them when the moment of action arrives? Maybe it's that weekly blog post you keep putting off, the client follow-up that never seems to happen, or the systems you know would help your business but somehow never get implemented. In last week's episode, we talked about self-negotiation, that internal dialogue where you talk yourself out of doing what you've already decided is important. We identified how this pattern of renegotiating with yourself is actually a form of self-sabotage that keeps your business stuck in place. So, if you know your tendency is to negotiate yourself out of making the ask or doing the task, activities you know would help grow your business, go back and listen to episode 372, Self-Negotiation, Stop Sabotaging Your Business Success. Now, moving on to today, we're diving into the solution to self-negotiation, a powerful accountability system that's not full of complicated strategies that require a business degree to implement, but instead practical, proven strategies that create enough structure to help you follow through, even when your motivation fades or your calendar gets chaotic. I've seen accountability systems transform businesses, not just mine, but many of my clients who are stuck in the self-negotiation loop. Let's explore both external accountability strategies that involve other people and internal strategies you can implement on your own. Then we'll talk about how combining both strategies can create a powerful accountability system. Accountability strategies provide the structure needed to break free from self-negotiation patterns. When we try to rely solely on our own willpower, we make it too easy to negotiate with ourselves. That's why we want to leverage both external and internal accountability. External accountability is so powerful because it introduces outside forces into the equation. Let's dive into 5 different external accountability strategies you can try. First up, accountability partners. This has been one of the most effective strategies I've seen with my clients. And here are some tips with accountability partners. Choose someone you genuinely respect and trust. This could be a business coach who understands your goals, a colleague in a similar field, or even a friend who's good at keeping you on track. For some business owners, a spouse can be a great accountability partner. But I have to say, proceed with caution. Mixing personal and business accountability can create a bit of relationship tension. I've seen this actually play out both ways, incredibly well and not so well. Schedule regular check-ins that are already on the calendar. Weekly or bi-monthly works best for most people and most schedules, and with that cadence of consistent accountability. Be specific about what commitments you're sharing and what kind of feedback you want. Really having that clear upfront communication about how you want that feedback when you have accountability partners is incredibly important. Are you more likely to follow through on sending that proposal if you know your accountability partner will ask about it on Thursday? You bet you are. And that's why everyone seems to have a workout buddy. You might talk yourself out of going to the gym if you didn't already promise your friend that you'd meet them there for that 7 p.m. yoga class. That is a great example of holding each other accountable and having that external accountability. Having a coach that is checking in with you every 2 weeks. For me, at the top of the session, I'm asking, so where are you at with this? How did the proposal go? Did you get this task done? It's a check-in from the wrap-up of the previous session. And I gotta tell you, I can't tell you how many times a client said, I did it last night. 2 weeks went by. I knew I was going to see you. I knew you were going to be asking me about it. And I did it last night. And sometimes that's said with like a little bit of embarrassment or that they did it wrong. And the truth is, I don't care how it got done. With that accountability, it got done by when they said they would do it in the next 2-week check-in. So as you can see, that external accountability does play out in your favor to take action. Another effective accountability strategy is client-generated deadlines. Tell a client when they can expect deliverables from you. Don't keep it a secret or keep moving the deadline in your head or behind the scenes. Verbalizing that external delivery deadline will help hold you accountable. Schedule the presentation before you've completed the project, not after. Oftentimes, I hear people say, well, let me just finish the presentation, then I'll reach out to the client and schedule. No. It will keep getting pushed off. Schedule the date, then do the presentation. Make promises with your clients that require follow through. Of course, with reasonable timelines, and I really promote this in a responsible way. And one way is that you really need to understand what a reasonable timeline is and not just give a promise to a client or spit out a date where there's no actual data of, do you have the capacity? Is that enough time? But if you do understand your capacity or your team's capacity and you understand your process, this really can be an incredible external accountability strategy. This works beautifully because you're much less likely to negotiate with yourself when someone else is counting on you to deliver. And I think that if you're listening to this, you know this to be true. If you know you're showing up differently with the external accountability of a verbalized deadline to a client or really to anybody else, lean into that. Use it for your benefit. Don't judge it. Perhaps the thing you want or need to do is not client related. So making a public commitment could get the same results. So in the previous example, I was specifically saying verbally or written in email or text or communicate the deadline to a client. But this same strategy, if it is working for you with, say, clients, I would ask, how can you make this work in other areas of your business that are not client-facing? Making your intentions known creates powerful external accountability. So this might be for example, social media announcement, or sharing with your email list, or telling some people on your team that you're going to do X, Y, Z. Public declarations leverage our desire to be seen as consistent and reliable. The key is making commitments to people whose opinions matter to you. Next, the structure accountability. Creating fixed points in your schedule that can't be easily moved. Booking non-refundable appointments related to your goals, for example, that photo shoot that keeps getting pushed off, or scheduling a meeting space to have that one-on-one conversation with a team member outside of the office. How about joining programs or masterminds with attendance requirements? Schedule collaborative work sessions where others are depending on your participation. And with that being said, I'm going to share with you how this plays out in my own personal life. Look, I'm not necessarily a cheap person, but I got to tell you, that $15 cancellation fee for missing my booked yoga class has gotten me to go to more classes than I'd like to admit. When you've created external commitments that would impact others or your wallet, if you backed out, you're much less likely to negotiate your way out of showing up. And the last external accountability strategy is actually one of my favorites. And this is co-working sessions, working alongside others who are also focused on their own tasks. Here are some ideas for your co-working sessions. Schedule in-person or virtual co-working sessions with team members or colleagues where everyone works on their own individual projects in the same space. Or perhaps you would like to go virtual with a stranger. Yes, there are apps out there like FocusMate that connect you with strangers to schedule focused work sessions. Both of these options can work wonderfully for you. And in both options, co-working with people you know or you don't know, I highly suggest you have a simple co-working session format where you briefly share what you're planning to work on, then silently work together in person or virtually, and then check in at the end with an update on what you did do during the co-working session. Co-working sessions create informal accountability through shared workspaces where your productivity, or lack thereof, is visible to others. I have found that the mere presence of someone else working diligently nearby dramatically reduces the likelihood that I'll negotiate myself out of important tasks. There's something powerful about the social accountability that happens when someone else can see your screen or your accountability level. While external accountability involves other people, structured internal or personal accountability helps you hold yourself accountable. Let's dive into 3 internal accountability strategies you can try. The first internal accountability strategy is habit tracking. The simple act of tracking can dramatically reduce self-negotiation. Simple visual trackers like a paper calendar where you mark an X for each day you follow through, or apps like one of my favorites, Habitbull, that you can track consistently and visualize your progress. The satisfaction of seeing your consistency visually represented creates immediate positive reinforcement. This works because it makes your commitment visible and concrete, making it harder to quietly negotiate your way out of it. This next strategy is one of the most underrated strategies, and it is also my personal favorite and most used strategy by my clients. And that strategy is to schedule non-negotiables on your calendar. Scheduling blocks of time, both personally and in your business, for high-value tasks and activities you want to stay committed with. What makes this strategy so powerful is that these time blocks help you decide. And in last week's episode, we learned that deciding is the first step in taking action. Using this strategy makes you answer 3 questions every time. What are you specifically doing? When are you going to do the task or activity? And how long will you do the task or activity? By simply adding an entry into your calendar, those 3 questions have to be answered every time. This strategy serves a purpose as it sets in stone what you've already decided you want to do, when you plan to do it, i.e., making the time, and how long you will be doing it for. This minimizes the self-negotiations as it bridges the gap between deciding and taking action. This is because when the time is already reserved and protected, there's less room for negotiation when the moment arrives. If you would like more detailed strategies on effective calendar scheduling, check out episode 312, How to Create Time to Work on Your Business, and episode 350, diving into my daily wrap framework. Lastly, immediate feedback loops such as daily check-ins. Self-negotiation thrives in silence and invisibility. Feedback loops shine a spotlight on it, making it much harder to justify backing out of commitments. Daily check-ins. Even a 5-minute evening reflection can catch the early signs of self-negotiation. Ask yourself, did I fulfill my commitments today? And if not, what story did I tell myself to justify it? This brief moment of honesty builds self-awareness about your specific negotiation patterns. And once you unlock your own specific self-negotiation patterns, which we identified many of them in last week's episode 372, then you're able to hit those dead on and address those patterns and solve for them. It ensures, with these daily check-ins, ensures you're less likely to roll those patterns unconsciously into the next day and the next day. We are all going to backslide. This is not about being perfect. But by doing these daily check-ins, you get to put a pit stop. Like, it stops today. I'm resetting. I'm recommitting for tomorrow. And the power of recommitment is incredible. In fact, we have an episode on that as well. We'll be sure to link out to it in the show notes. The power of recommitment first takes having self-awareness that there is a need to recommit. I highly recommend incorporating these check-ins into your daily wrap, which is your review and action plan that you'll do 15 minutes at the end of each day. And again, if you want to learn about that strategy, you can go back and listen to episode 350, where I dive into that framework in detail. Now that we've discussed many different external and internal accountability strategies you can try, I want to make it clear that the most effective approach to accountability is using a combination of both external and internal strategies. Not just one or the other, and not just one of these strategies. I want you to create your own personalized, powerful accountability system. The more barriers you can place between yourself and backing out, the more likely you are to follow through consistently with the actions you've decided to take. Your perfect blend of both external and internal accountability strategies will be unique to you, your business, your workflow, and it will combine multiple layers of accountability. A multi-layered system creates a powerful defense against self-negotiation habits. It isn't solely reliant on external pressures or internal willpower, but rather the powerful synergy of both. External accountability provides crucial outside perspectives, deadlines, and support to keep you on track with your strategic goals. Simultaneously, cultivating strong internal accountability ensures intrinsic motivation, and ownership of your progress. By strategically integrating these external and internal forces, you will create a comprehensive accountability system that not only drives consistent action, but also fosters a deep sense of responsibility and ultimately greater business success. Remember, the goal isn't perfect follow-through. I cannot say this enough. It's about breaking the pattern of consistent negotiation with yourself. Each time you honor a commitment instead of renegotiating, you're building the self-trust and momentum that makes the next commitment easier to keep. So make it a priority to build these guardrails of external and internal accountability strategies into your routines to keep your actions aligned with your goals and help you achieve them more swiftly. As we've seen, accountability doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. When you implement even one of these strategies, you're taking a powerful step from self-negotiation towards decisive action. Let's recap the accountability strategies we covered today. External accountability includes accountability partners, client-generated deadlines, public commitments, structured accountability, and co-working sessions, all of which harness the power of other people to keep you on track. Internal accountability encompasses habit tracking, non-negotiable calendar blocks, and daily check-ins to help you monitor your own progress and catch self-negotiation before it derails your day. The most effective approach combines a number of both external and internal accountability strategies to create your own personalized, powerful accountability system. Your system might involve a weekly check-in with an accountability partner, plus daily blocks of protected time on your calendar for specific tasks and activities. Or maybe it's joining a mastermind group while using Habit Tracker to monitor your follow-through. The exact combination isn't what matters most. What's important is that you choose at least one external and one internal accountability strategy and implement them consistently as a powerful system. I want you to think of this as an experiment. You don't know that you're going to pick the perfect combination or the perfect external and the perfect internal strategy. You may need to experiment with these. But what I would encourage you to do is start small, build momentum, and watch how quickly your self-negotiation habits begin to fade and transform into consistent action. Remember, every time you honor a commitment, instead of renegotiating with yourself, you're building the self-trust that fuels business growth. You're proving to yourself that you can count on you. And that's the foundation of sustainable success. Accountability is the bridge that connects your intentions to your actions. Without it, even the best strategies remain good ideas. With it, you can transform your business, one consistent action at a time. I have loved having you listen to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast, and I sure hope you found our conversation about accountability systems to be valuable. But I need to be straight with you. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So, what is your Take Action Challenge this week? I challenge you to implement just one accountability strategy from today's episodes. Start with something simple, like schedule a weekly call with an accountability partner, or block off 3 hours on your calendar for your most important project that you have been procrastinating on. Or perhaps you go set up a habit tracker for just one key business habit you want to track. Choose one. Implement it this week and notice how it impacts your follow-through. Then choose another. Then choose another, because this is going to be a multi-layered system, ultimately, of multiple strategies for accountability that are working together. And if you're looking for that external accountability partner in a business coach, then we should talk. That is exactly what I do for my clients. And if you're looking for a business coach that can help you improve your time management, lead your team, make strategic business decisions, then we should talk. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/coaching to learn more and to schedule a discovery call. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you to find out if working together is the next right fit for you and your business. And if you are new here, I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you've enjoyed this episode and you found it valuable for yourself, I want you to think of another business owner who you think would find creating a powerful accountability system to be valuable for them and their business, and share this episode with them. Simply hit share on any app that you're listening to this for, send it in an email, send it in a text message, let the person know you're thinking of them and that this was an episode you found valuable. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.